The M433 was very bad at release, but with updates it became one of the best assault rifles in the game. And in today's video we're going to talk about everything that matters for this weapon, including stats and information for both multiplayer and RedSec, as we are going to understand it and make it the perfect companion for us. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. The M433 has 25 damage and 830 rate of fire, which makes it the second fastest assault rifle in the game, and 670 base muzzle velocity. Other than rate of fire, almost every stat here is pretty standard for assault rifles. It has a 30 bullet mag, 250 ADS transfer speed, a standard headshot multiplier, and an approximately 2.4 second reload time. It is an assault rifle, so we are looking for 3 damage zones, which is typical for this weapon class. Now let's dive deeper into damage and range parameters. The M433 has 3 main damage zones. The first zone is up to 21 meters, the second zone is up to 75 meters, and the first zone past that. To the body we deal 25, 20 and 16.7 damage at the relative ranges. For a headshot we have 33.5, 26.8 and 22.4 damage. And if we use hollow point ammo, we have 37.5, 30 and 25.1 damage. That means we need 4, 5 and 6 shots to the body to kill our target. For a headshot, we need 3, 4 and 5 shots to kill. And if we use hollow point ammo, we need 3 shots to kill in the first zone and 4 shots to kill in the second and third zones. I personally think that you don't need to use hollow point ammo if it takes more than 2 shots to kill your target, so it's not that viable for M433, especially when it has the same shot to kill count up to 75 meters as a normal headshot. Talking about time to kill parameters for multiplayer, it takes only a quarter of a second to kill your target in the first zone range. And with such rate of fire we are actually looking for those close quarter battles. Here is the comparison of all assault rifles sorted by time to kill parameter in the first zone. As we can see, the M433 stays in the third spot here, but it's arguably better than the NVO, as we have no damage downgrade at 10 meter range, and the M433 is more stable overall. Now let's talk about RedSec. For the shots to kill parameter, we need 8, 10 and 12 shots to the body to kill our target. For a headshot, we need 6, 8 and 9 shots at the relative ranges, and with hollow points ammo we need 6, 7 and 8 bullets to kill our target. I believe this weapon can be very devastating for RedSec, especially with laser gun or balanced build I'm gonna show you later. For the time to kill parameter for RedSec, we are placed again in the third spot in our list of assault rifles. And to make those paper stats real, we need the best attachments we can use. And now it's time for our side-by-side attachment testing, starting with brakes. The M433 is actually pretty recoil-heavy weapon, and we can use brakes for some builds to negate that. The first one is without muzzle at all, as a starting point for us. Do not forget that using any attachment shown here will make you both 3D and minimap spotted, so you need to use it carefully. As we can see in the results here, the compensated brake is the only one worth using. Now let's move to suppressors. The flash hider is doing good here, but will make us spotted in the minimap. The standard suppressor is doing good too, and will negate the spotting penalties. The long suppressor shows us even better results, but will make our weapon's way a bit worse. The CQB suppressor is doing okay, and the lightened suppressor actually has the worst results here for some reason. We can definitely use the flash hider for its cost efficiency, the standard and long suppressors. Now let's test all of our choices for the muzzle section. As usual, the compensated brake will make our weapon recoil control way better. The flash hider will negate 3D spotting and has pretty good pattern. The standard suppressor is doing pretty good and will make us less noticeable. And as you can see, the long suppressor is great for M433. Overall, we can easily use anything here, depending on our situation and build. Alright, let's move to the underbarrel section, starting with vertical grips. For the M433 specifically, Vertical grips can be viable for less recoil builds, especially when we want to use suppressors as our muzzle choice. And we can clearly see that to get the most recoil control and usability, both the 25 and 35 vertical grips are the best choices here. And don't look that much on the ADS accuracy while moving debuff, as most of the fights in this game happen at 40-meter ranges, and it's not really noticeable here. Now for stubbies. I do not recommend using stubbies for the M433, as they are too costly for a 50 millisecond ADS transfer speed, and we need those points for our builds. But anyway, here are the results of our testing. First 3 stubbies are very bad, because they make the spray pattern way too wide. The 35-point stubby is okay, and the 45-point low-profile stubby costs too much and is not worth it at all. The only choice worth considering here is the 35-point stubby. Let's move on to the angle grips. The hand stop is okay, but we really want some recoil control for the M433. The adjustable angle grip is okay for its cost, but still has a penalty of ADS accuracy while moving. The slim angle grip is my personal favorite. It changes the angle of the spray pattern, but straightens it, so it can be usable. And the full angled grip is actually bad. Overall, the adjustable and slim angle grips have the best results here. Okay, now's the time to test our underbarrel chases. Right off the bat, I believe we can use any of them except the stubby, as it's not cost efficient. If we want to improve our ADS transfer speed, just use the angle grips and that's it. And here's the golden rule. If you want to make a laser gun, use vertical grips. If you want versatility, use angled grips. Overall, these 4 choices are the best in my opinion. Laser time. As I said earlier, I believe the M433 is best suitable for the first and second range zones. And we really need lasers to help us with hipfire accuracy for the first zone, and many people still underestimate this attachment. Yes, green and blue lasers are visible, but it doesn't matter if you push and play aggressively, as enemies can hear you anyway. As always, both green and blue lasers give us the best hipfire results, but the 30-point blue laser is too costly. I personally prefer using either green lasers or the 20-point blue laser for its additional ADS accuracy while moving. That was a lot of testing and information, and now let's move to the fun part, the builds. The M433 is a great weapon for close and medium range distances, and I'll give you 3 main builds that I found effective and fun, including my personal favorite balanced build, a no recoil build, and a hipfire build. The first build I call Balancer. It's my personal favorite and the build I found most versatile and effective for close to mid range. For the sight, take what you want here. Next we need a long suppressor, a slim angle grip and a 20-point green laser. If you want, you can switch the long suppressor with a flash hider and the 20-point green laser for the 30-point blue laser, or simply take a bigger mag. With this build, we become way stronger in close quarters with our hipfire, and with the suppressor, we become pretty much invisible to the enemy team. This build has very good push potential, and with our 830 rounds per minute rate of fire, we just melt people in close quarters. Additionally, with long suppressor we have enough recoil control to take a fight at longer ranges too. And of course, we take a slim angle grip, as it has the most benefits for us in close quarters and medium range fights, without any downgrades. I personally loved playing with this build, and I used it almost for all the time while leveling it up. Talking about playstyle, this build is better suited for an aggressive pushing playstyle, and taking fights up to 40 meters range. The second build is no recoil. The name says it all. This build is aimed at making the M433 have the least recoil possible and make it way more comfortable for mid to long range fights. For the sight, take what you want here. Next we need the long suppressor, a light barrel and the 35-point classic vertical grip. The long suppressor and classic vertical grip are for the obvious reasons, to maximize our recoil control. The light barrel helps us with ADS transfer speed and accuracy while moving. Simple as that. If you really want to make even more recoil control, you can switch long suppressor with compensated brake. But I don't recommend it, as you will lose suppressor benefits, and it will not improve recoil that much here. As I said earlier, this build is aimed at making the M433 a laser gun, and with this build it becomes very easy to use and control. It's best suitable for less aggressive players and for second lane playstyle. And I can pretty much confidently say that you can destroy targets at ranges up to 80 meters. But do not forget, as we don't use laser, we will lack power in close quarters, so we need to be a bit careful and play from cover or a position further away. And last but not least, the Striker. This one is aimed at maximizing your hipfire accuracy, so you can win those close quarter battles without any hesitation. As always, for the side section, take what you want. Next we take Flash Hider, a short barrel, a flashlight, a 20-point green laser, adjustable angle grip, and the 36 bullet mag. This build just strikes in close quarters. And our rate of fire helps us dominate in close quarters, and with this build, our hipfire is very accurate. The Flash Hider is to negate 3D spotting, a flashlight with 20-point green laser for obvious reasons. And we take a short barrel to improve our hipfire and close quarter potential even more. A 36 bullet mag will help us in intense situations. And we take angled grip in case we need to kill our target at longer range. This build is very fun and aimed mostly for a pushing playstyle and very aggressive gameplay. But remember, it's not that suitable for longer range fights. Close quarter battles are your bread and butter. In conclusion, the M433 is a fun and one of the best assault rifles in the game. It is very versatile and we can build it however we want. It can be suitable for every range and play style. You just need to give it time, unlock some attachments, and it will rock. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and if you have any tips, feel free to share them too. If you liked the video, press the like and subscribe buttons for future content. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye. Rest in peace, Vince. Rest in peace.